But today, he's having an excellent first half. 17 points. They're giving him the medium jumper. He's taking it. Now, if you falter, he's going to attack the rim. Now, that's that medium range game that we're talking about. He's shooting 56% in the series. In the open floor, he either scores or he gets fouled. And then defensively, the shot blocking is there. The passing. He already has 4 assists in this game. Now, keep an eye on LeBron. 17, the field goal, the rebounding, and the assist. But Mo Williams has come back big in this game. 6 or 7 from the floor to 16 points, and he's making a lot of things happen in the open floor. Now, on the other side, McDyess, Bynum, and Stuckey are leading this team. The shooting percentages are there from all 3 guys. Unfortunately, they're 3 all-star players, Prince, Wallace, and then Hamilton. Come on, they're only 2 for 16 in this first half. Now, just look at these stats. You expect more from Wallace and Prince. Not only the points, how about the field goal and then the rebounding? Your main guy at 7 foot only has 2 rebounds in this game and no foul shot attempts. And you just cannot get it done, Mike, when your 3 key guys cannot lead the team.
You mean when those 2 guys have given you 41 points combined in 3.5 games? That's why it's 3-0. Here's Heather Cox.
Indeed, Mike, before the game, Mike Curry said that Rasheed Wallace and Tayshaun Prince have to step up for them to have a chance. Well, like you guys said, they're just 1 of 9, so Mike Curry is going to his 3rd option and said he's got to get Rip Hamilton more involved, find a way to get him more shots. He said the Cavs are trapping him so hard, it's almost in his head right now. Hamilton just 1 of 7. Defensively, the Pistons would like to do a much better job on Mo Williams. They were surprised at how aggressive he came out in that first half, and they're going to continue to do whatever they can to keep LeBron James out of the paint.
You got it, Heather. And there's a couple of stories here that will develop during the second half, although our time with you on ABC is truncated by that great first game. One is Cleveland, their sweep, if they keep going in that direction where they are. And the second one is Detroit, because in some ways, this could mark the end of an era of what we've seen. We've spent a lot of Sunday afternoons, a lot of Friday nights here watching these guys. Here are the starting lineups for the second half, presented to you, I should say, by Taco Bell. Same guys that started the game: Varejao, Mo Williams, LeBron James, Zydrunas Ilgauskas, and Delonte West. And for Detroit, the guys we just talked about who are struggling: Wallace, Prince, Hamilton, with Antonio McDyess and Rodney Stuckey, who got foul trouble guarding LeBron James, picking up 3 fouls in the first half.
I like the way that Mo Williams and West have bounced back, going 1 for 18 in Game 3 in the first half, 8 for 11.
Williams really struggled from the field in the game Friday night, going that 1 for 11. Rasheed Wallace caught outside on LeBron, and he's going to pick up the personal foul.
Now, LeBron James throughout this series, you know, if you have not been on top of it, is averaging 14 foul shot attempts per game. Already in the first half, 7 for 8 from the line.
His amazing stats. The free throws for the entire Piston team and James were equal coming into the game today. Wallace able to keep that one alive and tip the rebound to himself. And the same thing in the first half. James shot 8 free throws. So did the Pistons.
Well, Mike, you have to have offensive flow. You must be able to score the basketball in the paint, and then you have a transition game. LeBron's getting to the line the majority of times because of the transition game.
McDyess on the outside knocks down the jumper, so Antonio McDyess leads the Pistons with 15. It's a 7-point game. If there's a Game 5, it would not be until Wednesday in Cleveland, and that's what you'll see here in the second half. So the Pistons want to get on the plane and head over to Ohio, or check out here at home in Game 4 and put the season to bed. Cavs have a lot to say with their play, but the Pistons' intensity is something to watch.
Now, in the first half, LeBron James, guarding LeBron James, they started with Hamilton. Then they came, you know, with Bynum, Flalo. They've had about 4 different people on him. Now, I'm kind of surprised because Prince is on him right now, and he has that lower back problem.
Hamilton gets inside and makes it a 5-point game. And part of the lack of production in this series for Detroit's 2 starting forwards, Rasheed Wallace and Tayshaun Prince, has been Prince's back and Wallace's left calf injury. The miss by Ilgauskas, chased down by Varejao. And we'll get a whistle, and it'll stay down here. with Cleveland. Heather Cox, what about Tayshaun Prince and that back injury?
Well, some more scoop. Not only is it a back, but really the problem is a gluteal muscle strain. Prince told me his biggest concern is the pain that comes once he goes to the bench and cools down, as evident in Game 3 when he had 7 quick points and then none afterwards. So their strength coach, Arnie Kander, has devised a plan. It starts with a homebrew balm that they put on him that's heat activated with herbs. Then it's heavily taped, and now he's also got a compression short made out of wetsuit material so that skin doesn't move. I talked to Arnie Kander again at halftime, and he said that Tayshaun actually feels okay. The problem, he's playing tentative. So Arnie said, we're down 0-3. Give it everything you have. You've got all summer to get better.
Ilgauskas on the outside misses. Cavs slow to start the half. Heather, you make great points about Arnie Kander. He's one of the best in the league.
Yeah, you're right on him, Mike.
Yeah, people talk about it all the time. Arnie's home brew coming to a Rexall near you, huh? Hamilton went at James. Good help by Varejao defensively, but unfortunately for the Cavs, it bounced right back to McDyess. Hamilton penetrates. Here's Prince for 3. Off the mark, and Varejao gets the rebound.
Well, throughout this game, Mike, the Pistons are getting wide open shots in the left corner or in the right corner. And when you break this game down at the end, you're going to see, hey, we had so many easy opportunities.
See if LeBron gets going. He's missed 8 of his last 9 shots.
Well, they're trying to keep him out, Mike, to shoot the jump shot.
9 of his last 10 after hitting his first 4 to start.
Well, I like what they're doing with him. You know, they're laying off and they're saying you got to be outside, Bob. Put pressure on the open shot.
Rodney Stuckey, the second-year guard. Beautiful spin move by Stuckey, and the Pistons have cut into it with the first 6 points of the third quarter.
Well, just like Game 3, they came out, they played a good quarter, and, you know, they got back into the game. Let's hope that they can sustain it. That's what this is all about. Game 3 and Game 4, the Pistons gave you maybe 3 quarters of action. Cleveland was able to play a dynamite 48 minutes defensively.
Ilgauskas using his size and coming across the lane, he was fouled by McDyess. Well, we talked about the free throw story in this series. 112 attempts for the Cavaliers and just 48 for Detroit.
Yeah, everyone said, well, that's refereeing. No, that has nothing to do with it. It comes down to offensive movement, offensive continuity. Are you isolating your guys, getting them in good high percentage areas? And then the transition game. Because do you attack? Can you get those 2-on-1s, 3-on-2s, and then get fouled going to the basket? At one end, we see it with Cleveland. At the other end, the Pistons, very few opportunities.
James was doubled and got hit in the face, and the foul was called right over there in front of Michael Curry. Let's get a close look. Wallace says
the initial pop.
Easy to call.
For you and I, we didn't feel it, but I think LeBron did.
Absolutely. Still doubled over on that far side. And the athletic trainer. Plan 2 of that is the expiring contract. Aflalo takes a 3. Gains the rebound.
Mike, it's a situation where when you do this, you don't expect to go from 59 wins a year ago to 39. You don't expect to go from one of the best road teams to going 18 and 23 on the road. But more important, they were in 40 games this year, decided by 6 points or less. Now that is a big stat. They lost 23 of these games. And you say, well, what's wrong? What's wrong is you have to have a closer. The closer left and went to Denver. We're talking about a guy who makes he makes the big shots for you. He takes the big shots, he makes threes, you foul him, he goes to the line, he shoots over 90%. So the closer wasn't there. Then when you bring in Iverson in, how's your execution? How was your execution? Well, you could see. You lost 23 games by 6 points or less. So you did not, close, you didn't have a key guy, and then you could not execute with good offensive efficiency in these types of games.
You're right. Foul on Aflalo, second on the team. James is trying to single-handedly close this thing out. He's off the mark there, and on the checkout, Max Steele's going to be called for bodying Ben Wallace, former teammates. That'll be 3 team fouls on Detroit. You know, the Iverson thing, he came in, and of course, Hamilton went to the bench and was part of an all-season soap opera. Iverson has not done himself any favors. I know he had the back injury. They said it wouldn't work out with the back for the rest of the year. But if he was good enough to play, you would think if he was still a part of this team and being paid by them, he'd be healthy enough to at least be around, show some support, be around the team. The Pistons didn't say leave to him. He has not been around, and that certainly, I think, will affect if Iverson finds it, where he finds a place next year. People are watching. Williams a three, and you can hear all the Cavalier fans who's made the trip. Cavs up 16, 3 minutes into the fourth.
Now it tested you. You got 9 minutes here to lay it out on the line. But we say, forget about the offensive end. The offense, we know when you score, you do play better defense. The main thing right now is, come on, you got to buckle up defensively here and make some things happen.
Axiel going for the basket inside. In the act, Mo Williams called for the foul, and you can start to sense the Cavs looking for the sweep here. You don't get a gold star for getting into the second round first. It doesn't do you any. But Dan Gilbert, the owner of the Cavaliers, has seen this team be put together by Danny Ferry quite well, and they would really relish the chance for the rest and to be the team that says, okay, we took care of business quicker than anybody else. One more confident step. What does the number 42, a bus full of hostages, and cop killer have in common? Well, one of the most unusual tastes, yes. Life as a New York City cop, 24-hour job. Life in the second precinct, always unusual. You can see it, all new episode Tuesday night. I beg your pardon, Wednesday night. Here on ABC. Axiel missed them both. James the rebound. LeBron has 11 boards and 7 assists.
Well, they have excellent perimeter depth now, Mike. They're too deep at every position. Then up front, they have 5 key guys who can play power forward and center for you. And then the fact that Varejao is in excellent shape this year, came in, started 42 games during the season, he was ready for the playoffs.
Oh, what a pass by LeBron to Joe Smith, who beat the clock, gets the hoop, and the lead is 18.
They wear you down. They just keep coming at you. They wear you down in that fourth quarter. Plus, they have LeBron James who can nullify whatever you're doing offensively. But their key is the defensive end. They do not give you good looks as we move towards the end of the quarter.
Wallace short on the three. It's a 7-0 run for the Cavs. West tipped it out. It's going to be Detroit ball after this timeout.
I like this going on between West and LeBron James. That's like a defensive halfback cutting off a wide receiver.
Yes.
Yeah, because LeBron thought he was going to intercept that and go.
That was the reception pregame when LeBron and the guys came in and they realized, hey, this is their house, but we got a lot of our folks in it. And we're on our way to the second round.
Team to even the series.
It's like Cleveland here in Detroit with all the Cavaliers fans. You see the series tied at 2. Boston and Chicago. Their winner will play the Philly-Orlando winner. And that series continues tonight. And that Atlanta-Miami winner will be waiting, likely, for the Cleveland Cavaliers. And Hubie, no matter what, the Cavs are guaranteed, if they win here today, a week off. It could be as much as 9 days until a second-round series begins with the Heat or the Hawks. Pistons down 18. Largest deficit of the game. Will Bynum. Nice. Hits a three. Played the last couple of years in Israel. Played at Georgia Tech on a Final Four team out of Crane Tech High School in Chicago.
Mike, he's had a great game. He's got 20 points, but he's done a nice job defensively. He gave him a major shot in the arm in that first half.
Playoff career high for Will Bynum. The foul on the Pistons will be the 4th on the team. Here's our BlackBerry game track. We'll scroll down the little trackball here. LeBron's 27, 11, 2 assists shy of a triple-double. Mo Williams had a great shooting second quarter. 7 of 10 for the game. And Wallace, Prince, and Hamilton, Hubie told us before the game, they needed to be big. They've got a total of 8. LeBron is 29. Antonio McDyess. McDyess was part of that Allen Iverson, Chauncey Billups deal, then was released by the Nuggets and re-signed back here in Detroit. He's been part of the group. He came after they won a championship, and he has been the most visibly disappointed year after year when the Pistons got to the Eastern Finals but could not get to another championship.
He's been a very consistent performer, not just with the points, Mike, with the a lack of volume shooting, but with the rebounding. He's been excellent for them as a defensive end.
Bynum the push at Mo Williams. Joe Smith able to save it.
Now, how about the fact that you're up as much as you are and you try to take a charge out in the middle of a fast break?
Ben Wallace volleyballs it back out. James can come back and get it. And you're hearing a lot of Cavs fans who are standing and cheering the effort by their team. Pistons sent out an email to Cavaliers season ticket holders as Williams connects to make it 84-67, offering them tickets for Game 3. You combine the disappointing season, the continued success the Pistons have had year in, year out. This is a downer of a season for them. Plus the economy and the extra disposable income at hand for a lot of the people in Metro Detroit. Bynum connects. And you knew you were going to have empty seats here, the feeling was. So they offered some tickets to the Cavaliers fans. They said about 120 took them up on the offer on Friday night. Seems to be a bit more, a lot more here today.
Mike, the fan in the Piston area here, they have been outstanding. Once again, they led the league in attendance, 21,000 over 800. They have led it 6 out of the last 7 years.
Yep.
They've been extremely patient, and they've done 259 straight sellouts.
Bynum short on the 3. Ben Wallace, who was a fan favorite during his days here, picks up the rebound. You're right. These fans have been great. They've been loyal, and you and I have sat here many a night and how loud this building was in getting this team back in many of their runs.
Mike, this is the first time in the last 8 years that they're in the playoffs with a losing record.
Yep.
All right, they're only 39 wins this year.
James right at it. Oh, man!
You could see that one coming after the first bounce. Mainly because the trap guy left and Will Bynum was left to guard LeBron James.
Just watch it. Thing of beauty. Nobody better in the league right now. LeBron carrying the Cavs, sweeping their way back across the border into the second round. Back at 5 championship drive, Auburn Hills, Michigan, because of the championships won by the teams that play basketball here. In 2004 in the finals, the signature moment of this run by the Pistons. Rasheed Wallace dominating inside, Phillips and Hamilton on the outside, and the NBA championship trophy coming to Detroit after 1989 and 90 back-to-backs. Chauncey Billups, the finals MVP that year. And what a 7-year stretch it's been. This will be the team of this decade in the East. They had such an incredible run. 6 consecutive 50-win seasons coming to an end this year. 6 consecutive appearances in the conference finals. And a 2-4 record there, including 03 and 04. They lost to San Antonio in one of the finals. And then got the finals victory over the Lakers that we showed you there. Hubie, in many ways, this feels like the end of an era here this afternoon as McDyess connects and was fouled by Joe Smith. And we talked about Iverson and Rasheed Wallace and the expiring contracts. Things will be very different around here. I wouldn't be surprised if Tayshaun Prince is moved. They're talking about can they get more scoring productivity. Prince has been a great Piston, but do they need more scoring? It'll be interesting to see what happens, but there's no doubt that this is bringing the curtain down on the era of the 2000 through 2009 Pistons. A very, very good run.
Yet we have been around in all the great games, and it's just been wonderful how the team played and the city accepted the team, and then the loyalty by the 6 out of 7 years of leading the league in attendance. When they moved Ben Wallace, he went to Chicago. Then you move Billups. You're taking away the 2 hearts of your starting unit. The one guy was Mr. Defense 4 straight years, Ben Wallace, and then in the backcourt you had the closer, the big shot guy, the money man on the foul line. So when they left, all of a sudden now, the people that you keep cannot close games, and then you were missing that tenacity defensively.
The foul was called pre-shot clock violation as James was hoisting. And they will get a 5th foul on Richard Hamilton on the push to the face. So 3 free throws coming for LeBron. As those Cleveland fans chant MVP here for James. Reminder, Red Sox Yankees tonight. Sox going for the sweep at Fenway. Baseball tonight live from Fenway, 7 Eastern over on ESPN. Heather Cox.
Guys, LeBron James, who's part of that veteran group they call the committee to help lead the team, just gathered the 5 teammates on the floor, huddled them, and impressed on them to stay focused, adding, don't do anything stupid. I think to the Cavs, this last 4:28 feels like forever.
Good point.
Absolutely, Mike. And the thing I like about LeBron's game, come on, he's just accepted 16 foul shot attempts here tonight. He improved his foul shooting from a year ago, where he was questionable sometimes under pressure at the end, to 78%. Now, how about today? He's 15 for 16 on the line. He's just knocking him in with a ton of confidence.
Pistons as a team are 15-17. 17-point lead for Cleveland. 4 minutes away from the second round and a week at least of rest. Mo Williams. Three more. Lead is up to 20.
I'm so happy for Weston Williams. Right now, in this game, they are 14 for 23. Everyone questioned them the other night when they went 1 for 18. Well, I think they bounced back with a hammer.
McDyess with the 26. That now ties Antonio's playoff career high. And again, one of the many players who have a question about will they return next year. If so, his last game for the Pistons, an impressive one. And another rebound for McDyess. Approaching 3:15, the Cavs ready to start subbing in. We'll see if James comes out. He's going to have unbelievable numbers in this series. It'll be a 4-game sweep, as we showed you before. It's going to be a series in points, rebounds, and assists all combined. That is the equal of only Oscar Robertson and Larry Bird within a single series in the history of the league. And nobody's talking about what an unbelievable series he's had. But he has. And he still is. What'd you say to me before? You did the game with Mike Green Friday. You said, what a joy to watch.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, Mike. I like it just watching him warm up, and then once the game gets going, he's the total package. Because not only can he rebound, he can score the ball, he drives the ball, his upper body strength, out on the fast break. He's one of the greatest passers in the history of this game. And then from the foul line down, he's right up in there with the great passers of all time that I have seen. You know, when you talk about guys like the Larry Birds and the Rick Barrys, and then Charles Barkley's, of guys who could take double team and just negate the double team because they need to score. Make a great pass.
You score that goal, it was goal-setting. But he almost blocked it to the second row out by midcourt.
Now, he's been, in this series, he is led by example because he's been a bear with the shot blocking as well as the steals.
Well, it's 2 for the Pistons, but it is the guy who reminds you that in every facet of the game, he has stepped it up to another level this year. He's on his way to the second round with the Cavaliers. There was 1:32 to go. It's a contrast. You see, the Cavs are chatting away and just smiling on their side. And meantime, over on that Pistons bench, there's a lot of long faces. As they know this group, as we've come to know them, will not be together again. 3 to shoot. Serbiak fouled by Amir Johnson. Just one last point on Detroit here. Let's talk about Cleveland first. Cleveland and their season series against Miami and Atlanta, virtually the same. 3 out of 4 against both. Stats very, very similar. Do you see anyone as a better matchup for Cleveland?
No, I don't think, and I don't think they're worrying about whichever team they play. Mainly, they're playing at the top of their game.
Yeah.
Like, their defense is outstanding. They have the total package. Like, look today, LeBron gets 36. Well, how about Weston Williams? The combined, they come in with 35. Both of them contributed high shooting percent. So the defense is there. There's a ton of confidence. They can sustain an injury to a starter as long as it's not LeBron. They have plenty of depth here, and then they have a very confident group of people. They prepare meticulously. They're very well planned. They have good game plans.
Bynum, as his final minute runs down. Just a reminder what a difficult season. Max Seal with the dunk inside. What a difficult season and time it has been, not just for the current Pistons, but the entire Piston organization. Bill Davidson, the owner, passing away a couple of months ago. Will Robinson, longtime one of the great respected scouts in the entirety of the sport over many decades, passed away earlier this year. The continued battle with pancreatic cancer for Chuck Daly. I know you've been seeing those CD pins on every one of the coaches, many of the announcers, all of us here during all the broadcast of the playoffs this year. It's something that is near and dear to the heart of many, many, many people, and thoughts and prayers with Chuck as well. As echoed by this entire city. The great people led the Pistons to the titles of '89 and '90.
Chuck and I go way back. Chuck got me a job at Duke University when I was at William & Mary for a year. I moved over to Duke. I was a freshman coach. Chuck was the assistant. He laid out college basketball to me, helped me create an offensive philosophy. I owe a lot to Chuck. And we all know from there he went to Boston College, replaced Bob Cousy, did a great job, went to Penn, had University of Pennsylvania top 5 in the country. One of the truly great college coaches before he joined Billy Cunningham with the 76ers, and then he was off in pro basketball.
He did a great job here. Our thoughts to Chuck. Pistons done. And the first to the second. First team to the second round. LeBron and the Cavs may sweep Detroit in 4. The second sweep in the history of the Cleveland Cavaliers franchise. Coach of the Year Mike Brown exchanging greetings with the Pistons. Michael Curry, the Pistons' first-year coach. Interesting to see what happens with Michael. Some feel, especially high in the organization, that he was dealt a tough hand and will get another opportunity next year. Only time will tell as things change around here, but no change in what we've seen all year. 66 regular season wins. The Cavaliers on to the second round in impressive fashion. The series for James, 47 of 59 from the line, 32, 11, and 7.5. And here he is with Heather Cox. Heather.
Mike, thanks so much. The Cavs become the first to advance to the second round. LeBron, how important was it to you to sweep this series?
I don't think that was a big emphasis on it. You want to try to win every game. You want to try to continue to get better every game. If you're at home or you're on the road and you're facing adversity. But to get 4 straight wins in a playoff series and to come in this hostile building and get 2 straight, it's a good feeling for us.
And you do it by averaging more than 30 points per game in this series. How much was it a specific effort on your part to crank it up a notch for these playoffs?
Well, that's what it's about. This is what legends are born, and this is what teams are made and make history. So to get the first round out of the way gives us a little bit more time to get a little bit of rest. But we got to make sure that we continue to do the things that we need to do to get ready for the next series, whoever it's against, either Miami or against Atlanta. You
get the win on the road, but you would never know it with the chance of MVP in this arena. How much did it feel like you were playing a home game today?
Our fans was unbelievable. They came from Cleveland, from Northeast Ohio, all the way up to Michigan, and showed a lot of support to us. So we really appreciate it.
I know this is just the first step, but how much do you feel like all the pieces of the puzzle are in place to get that goal you've been working for all season long?
Well, all the pieces are in place because everyone is healthy. And you want to be playing your best throughout the playoffs or during the playoffs, and we did that in the first round. So it's time to get a little bit of rest. We'll make sure we stay fine-tuned and get ready for the next opponent. But we got to feel good about this. This is a big accomplishment for our team.
I'll certainly let you go enjoy it. Thanks, LeBron.
Heather, great working with you this year. Shame he doesn't get it, huh?
He's right on. I mean, it's like a script was written before the game for him to read. He just does it right off cuff.
He's 24, by the way. Our final score, Cleveland 99, Detroit 78. James, by the way, in the series, had 1 more free throw attempt than the entire Pistons team. With Hall of Famer Hubie Brown, Heather Cox, Mike Tirico. Thanks to our entire crew. The Unusuals all new Wednesday, 10, 9 Central, here on ABC. Now, except for the West Coast, stay tuned for ABC's World News or your local news on many of these ABC stations. The Cavaliers to the second round. We thank you and see you next weekend for more of the NBA on the home of the NBA Finals, ABC.